That felt right. All right. Oh. Oh, hey. Didn't even see you there. How's it going? Did you? Did you see what I just kind of did there? Wasn't that a little odd? Or maybe you thought, wait a minute, I do this too. And well, if you thought that, you might not be alone, because what you do is part of a condition called OCD. I happen to have it, as you might have been able to tell. Who knows? And I wanted to talk a little bit about that, and let you know what that's all about. And also, OCD is pretty popular on social media. People are like, ooh, I'm so OCD, I love my pants being organized. Or I want everything in a straight line. And I mean, guilty is charged. A lot of things being organized. But there's a difference between having your pants in an orderly manner. I'm thinking if your pants are not in an orderly manner, your family is going to die in a car crash later today, and you are not able to shake that feeling until you rearrange the pants 10 times until the order makes sense. And what makes sense means is something that you don't even know, but it's something you can kind of feel that makes sense. So, OCD, what does it stand for? Obsessive, compulsive, disorder. So, number one, we have obsessions. Anything that goes on in the mind. Your thoughts, intrusive thoughts, often described as kind of sticky because stuff you're not really able to shake. Think, did I leave the stove on? I probably did. Should I check? I have to check. And you go and you check, and the stove is turned off, and you return to whatever you were doing, and you think, wait a minute, is the stove off? And you keep repeating that, and actually getting up, checking the stove, seeing that it is turned off, sitting back down again, is the compulsion part of it. It's like movements, ritualized stuff you can't really control, but you do it to get anxiety from the obsessions under control. So, if you feel the anxiety, the punch to your chest of like, fuck, I left the stove on, then you get up and check, and you're relieved for a second, and your body's like, oh, 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 that was good. Then you sit back down again, and the thought's back here. And, oh, what do? Last time I checked and it was off, it relieved the anxiety. Logically, you know the stove won't be turned on because, well, I mean, you just checked it. But your mind doesn't really seem to digest that. I know you sit there and you're like, that's super silly, I'm not going to get up again. Until the pressure in your chest is so bad that you have really no other option than to just get up and check again. One example of severe compulsions that you often hear around OCD is people excessively washing their hands or being so afraid of germs that they actually cannot leave their house. And you can wash your hands, but they're not going to feel clean until you wash them in the right way. And the right way could mean 10 times in a row for 2 minutes each. Now, think about how much time that costs if every time you washed your hands, which I hope is plenty in a day, and you took 20 minutes just to complete a ritual. Pretty impairing. But even if you have a less severe case, OCD is not pleasant. And OCD involves a lot of shame because a lot of the things you don't want to talk about. These obsessions, these thoughts involve things like you seeing yourself hurting someone you love, physically or emotionally. You doing unspeakable things that would get you in big trouble without actively thinking about them or desiring them in any way. You can't really help it, it's just your mind just blurts them out and you have these powerful images in your mind. And you have such a strong emotional reaction that they lead to compulsions, to safety behaviors. And that can be something like sorting your pants in a certain order, or touching objects in a certain way. For me, a big thing was, back when I was in school, I always wanted to get into a room with my right foot first because, you know, about the saying, he got up today on the wrong foot. Well, my mind took that a little too far for a couple of years, maybe. So here we are. And especially for people who are not violent at all, having these fantasies, which they are often interpreted as, can be pretty scary and especially hard to actually open up and talk about, because people think you would be nuts, wouldn't they? But rest assured, there's more of us out there. The more we talk about it, the easier it actually gets. And the neat part about OCD is, for a chronic condition, it's pretty manageable if you put in the work. Putting in the work usually involves reducing the learned behavior of you having an obsession and needing to do the compulsion. So you have to have an obsession and you kind of rest, you acknowledge it, and you wait for it to pass so your mind sees, wait a minute, the stove is off, and this feeling will pass even if I don't check. That will take some time, and there's specific forms of therapy, exposure therapy to these obsessions. There's acceptance, commitment therapies, there's DBT skills that can help. There is also medication, usually SSRIs, which are also prescribed for depression. They can help with these obsessive thoughts. So this is a condition that is relatively common and is very good to manage. You just have to put in the work. And also opening up about it. Because telling the world how silly your behaviors is sets it a little bit in perspective for you and maybe even for other people who might not even know they have OCD, but they suffer from these silly things they do day in, day out, which torment them terribly. But they think, I'm just crazy. No one's going to believe me. And especially not if I want to murder my family. But that's just part of the condition. Don't worry, not everything is as violent as murdering your family, but it is definitely in there. So if you notice any thoughts that kind of scare you, that make you feel off, if you feel any tightness in your chest and have a strong feeling of wanting to check something to make sure something is safe or something is not happening, and if your mind brings up these things, you being afraid of getting a terminal illness, you're being afraid of your family passing away, you're being afraid of being outcast from your friend group, all of these things. And if they keep ruminating, maybe speak to a professional. I'm pretty sure they can help you. And if I got my mental health in check, or at least my OCD to be fair, then I'm pretty sure you can do it too. Hang in there. Pleasure to meet you.